We haven't seen many 8-inch tablets recently, but that changes with the Realme Pad Mini. This is an affordable 8.7-inch Android tablet that starts at just €180. For that, we get an HD display, a Unisoc octa-core processor, and a full metal body. Should you get it? I'm NJ from mynexttablet.com, and that's what you will learn in this review. Before we start, subscribe to the channel. I'm reviewing almost every tablet that gets released, and among those is pretty much every 8-inch tablet like this new Realme Pad Mini. Let's check out the pricing first. The cheapest version with 3GB RAM and 32GB storage costs €180. If you want 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, you will have to pay €20 more. Once you add LTE, the tablet costs €230. Prices should be very similar in US dollars in most countries. I like this pricing lineup because you don't have to pay that much more to get more storage and LTE. My review unit is the LTE version with 4GB and 64GB. The Realme Pad Mini is a very handy tablet. It's about the same size as most 8-inch tablets are, but due to the slim screen bezels, it has an 8.7-inch display. On its shorter side, it's 12.5 cm wide, which means it fits in many jeans back pockets and also in most jackets. With 7.6mm, it's not super slim, but slim enough so that it does not feel thick. I like that we get a full metal body. The build quality is very good and it feels higher end than the price suggests. On its sides, we get a metal power button and a metal volume rocker. A standard 3.5mm headphone jack sits on the top, and on the bottom we get a USB-C 2.0 port. That means while you can attach tons of accessories, external monitors are not among them. On the left we get a microSD card slot, which can also fit 2 SIM cards if you get the LTE version. When holding the Pad Mini in landscape orientations, we get a speaker on each side, so 2 in total. While the sound quality is not amazing, the speakers are certainly loud enough and fine for watching YouTube and listening to a bit of music. The tablet does not have a fingerprint scanner, but you can unlock it using facial recognition. It does not have an extra sensor for that and uses the webcam alone, so it's not super secure, but it works fine. Photos of that webcam have a resolution of 5 megapixels and the main camera on the back offers 8 megapixels. Both are usable for video chats, but not much more. Videos with that webcam look a bit soft and are over-sharpened at the same time, and videos with the main camera just look too soft. But that's the case with all tablets of this price range, and I don't think you will get it for your holiday snapshots anyways. The Realme Pad Mini has an 8.7-inch display, which is a standard LCD screen. It has a resolution of 1340 by 800 pixels, similar to a standard HD display. While I think that resolution is okay, it's certainly not the sharpest one. Especially when looking closely at text, you can see some pixelation. A full HD resolution would have been nicer. Everything else is not outstanding, but good. Contrast and colors look fine, viewing angles are wide, and it's bright enough for inside use with 360 nits. When you're outside in direct sunlight, however, it's a bit too dark. I'd say it's still kind of usable, but outside I constantly wish it would be a tick brighter. It's a good tablet to read ebooks with, but not at the beach. I think this is the same screen that Samsung uses on the Galaxy Tab A7 Lite. The dimensions and resolution match, and except for some color variation, they look the same to me. The Pad Mini should be fine for Netflix according to reviews from India that I read, but I couldn't test that. My review unit does not have a Play Protect certification, which means I cannot install Netflix. It should work fine with the international versions being sold in Europe though. If anything changes, I will write it in the description. By the way, as is common in this price range, the tablet does not support an active pen. You can use generic ones made for capacitive touchscreens, but they are much worse than an S Pen or Apple Pencil is. Inside the Realme Pad Mini runs the Unisoc T616 octa-core processor with cores clocked at up to 2 GHz. We get 3GB or 4GB of RAM and a 32GB or 64GB internal storage. I've got the version with 4GB RAM and 64GB of storage. You can see in the Geekbench 5 benchmark that the performance is much better than the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 Lite, and it's also a bit faster than the Amazon Fire HD8 Plus. Both are cheaper 8-inch Android tablets that are older, but still compete with the Realme Pad Mini. The performance is a bit below the 10-inch Galaxy Tab A8. So based on benchmarks, it's certainly an entry-level tablet. The Apple iPad Mini is much faster, but it's much pricier too. Games like PUBG Mobile don't run with the highest graphics settings. Instead, I was able to select HD graphics and that game runs fine with that. Other games like Asphalt 9 and especially Race run well too. So you will be able to play most games, but if they are a bit more demanding, you will have to select a bit lower graphics settings. This is not the best gaming tablet. The system itself runs surprisingly smooth. I compared it with the Galaxy Tab A7 Lite and the Realme Pad Mini is much smoother with everyday tasks. Surfing the web and watching YouTube works great, and a little bit of multitasking like Chrome and YouTube next to each other is possible too. You can use more demanding apps like Adobe Lightroom as well, of course, but here you sometimes will encounter a little bit of stuttering when working with bigger or lots of files. With tasks like these, the iPad Mini is a lot better. You can get the tablet with LTE, and that is the version that I got. That one has a dual SIM card slot, which means that you can either use 2 different SIM cards or 1 SIM and a microSD card at the same time. The Wi-Fi version has 1 microSD card slot. Pre-installed are the standard Google Phone and messaging app. With these, you can make phone calls and send SMS text messages just as you can do with the standard smartphone. There's one caveat, however, because the tablet has no earpiece. So you can make phone calls using the normal speakers or a headset, but nobody will see you holding an 8-inch tablet next to your head. Out of the box, the Realme Pad Mini is running Android 11, and on top of that sits the Realme UI R Edition. Obviously, Android 12 would have been nicer, especially since we don't know if and when Realme will release any major software updates. I asked them during a press event and they said they're exploring the possibility of releasing updates, so I guess it means no, but since the larger brother will get Android 12 and a couple of years of security updates, there's a little tiny bit of hope, but better expect it will get nothing. Even though the interface is customized a little bit, it's mostly vanilla Android, and I think that's great. We get the standard Android features like the split screen view, a dark mode, a blue light filter, and so on. Pre-installed are many apps from Google, including the Kids Space, as well as a couple of basic ones like a calculator. No ads or apps that take up tons of space, and that's how it should be. The Realme Pad Mini has a battery with a capacity of 6400 mAh, and it supports 18-watt fast charging. In my battery test, it got a runtime of 9.15 hours, and for this I'm always looping an HD YouTube video at maximum brightness. So the battery life is quite long, which is great, but also a result of the darker screen. So, is the Realme Pad Mini a good tablet? Yes, I think it is. Especially when comparing it to other 8-inch Android tablets, the performance is good. I also like that you don't have to pay that much more to get LTE and more storage. The metal body is premium feeling, we get decent speakers, and overall it's a nice tablet to surf the web with, watch some YouTube and play a couple of games. On a negative note, I wish the Realme Pad Mini would get Android 12. I also wish the display would be a little bit brighter and have a Full HD resolution. But considering how inexpensive it is, I think the screen is good enough. Overall, it's a pretty good 8-inch tablet, which is not that hard as there's lacking competition in this size. Let's check out those alternatives. If you're looking for something cheaper, you can check out the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 Lite. As far as I can tell, the display is exactly the same, and here too we get a full metal body. With that being said, the performance is noticeably worse. However, in Europe it usually is around €50 cheaper, and it's okay for reading and surfing the web. The next best 8-inch tablet is 3 times pricier because it's the Apple iPad Mini 6. Everything is much better here, really much better. We get much better performance, a much nicer screen, better speakers, Apple Pencil support, and for sure much longer updates. But as I said, you will have to pay 3 times more. Alright, that's been my review of the Realme Pad Mini. If you have any questions, write them down below. I'm Andrzej from mynexttablet.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.